Imagine picking up the phone and you hear a voice you know instantly, maybe your grandchild, maybe a niece, or even a close friend, but they sound awful, completely panicked.
It's crying, say they've been arrested or there's been some terrible accident.
And they need money right now. And the worst part, they say you absolutely cannot tell anyone.
Your heart just stops, doesn't it? Your first thought is, I have to help.
Exactly. But what if that voice, the one that sounds perfectly like your loved one, what if it isn't that?
What if it's, well, sophisticated AI, crafted by criminals, specifically designed to get at your life savings?
It really does sound like science fiction, but this is happening. It's a terrifying reality right now.
It really is.
So today we're diving deep into this world of telephone scams. We want to uncover the tactics, the shocking technology they're using.
And most importantly, how you can arm yourself and protect your loved ones against these kinds of deceptions.
We're security experts, and really, our mission is to shine a light on this type of crime online. Over the phone, especially how it targets our older population. We want to help you navigate this tricky landscape safely.
Yeah, this deep dive is all about understanding how these phone scammers operate now. It's not just the old tricks anymore. We're looking at everything from seemingly innocent questions they might ask,
Right,
to this cutting-edge, really emotionally manipulative technology they're deploying. We've been digging into recent reports, expert warnings.
and we want to pull out the critical insights for you, give you the nuggets you really need so you're not just, aware, but actually prepared, ready to defend yourself and your family.
Prepared is the key word.
Okay, so let's start with something that seems small, almost trivial, but can have huge consequences. Just saying the word yes. Have you ever picked up a call, unknown number, and someone just asks, "Can you hear me?" Or maybe, "Is this your name?"
Yeah, happens all the time. You might just think it's a bad connection, right? Or just another telemarketer.
But often, that's the opening line. That's the start of what's called the say yes phone scam. It's been around, but it keeps coming back.
And what's really insidious about this one is just how simple it is,
Yeah,
but also how powerful.
right.
The goal of that first call, often it's a robocall, isn't really to talk to you or sell you anything right then. It's purely about one thing, recording your voice saying yes.
Just that one word.
Just that one word.
Yeah.
They want a clear, definite yes to a question that seems totally harmless. It plays on our instinct to just be polite,
Totally, you just answer the question.
Exactly. It's that clear agreement they can then, they can splice it, manipulate it, use it later, as if it's your authorization for something else entirely.
And it's not just about saying yes. What are the real dangers once they have that little recording? What can they actually do with it?
Well, that's where it gets really chilling. That single recorded yes can be weaponized in quite a few ways.
Like what?
Imagine it being used to okay charges on your credit card, something you never actually bought or agreed to, a service, a product.
Wow.
Or it could be used to sign you up for expensive programs, maybe subscriptions, or even tack on extra services to your phone bill without you knowing.
So you wouldn't even realize until you get the bill way later.
Precisely. We've seen cases where people only spot it months down the line when they really look closely at a complicated statement. So one word, yes, recorded, played back.
Yeah.
It can genuinely create a financial nightmare.
And it works because it feels so harmless at the time. You're not thinking about the implications.
Exactly. It exploits that sort of automatic agreement tendency we have, especially for a simple, non-threatening question. We just don't pause.
Okay, so this brings up a really important point. What if you have said yes? Maybe you're listening now and thinking, "Oh no, I did that last week." Should people panic?
That's a great question. No need to panic immediately. Saying yes doesn't automatically mean something bad will happen.
Okay, that's reassuring.
But, and this is a big but, you absolutely need to be extra cautious going forward, extremely vigilant.
What does that mean practically?
We strongly recommend keeping a very close eye on all your bank statements, your credit card statements. Look for any charges you don't recognize, anything suspicious.
Even small amounts?
Especially small amounts sometimes. They can be test charges. $1 here, $2 there, check everything. And if you suspect you've been targeted, or you see it a charge that isn't yours,
Report it.
absolutely report it. The Better Business Bureau, the BBB, has a scam tracker tool. That's a great place to report it. It helps them track these things and warn others.
And call your bank too, right? Or credit card company.
Immediately. Let them know you didn't authorize the charge. Don't wait.
Okay. So the say yes scam relies on simplicity, but criminals, they don't stand still, do they? They adapt. Are we seeing, technology making these scams worse?
That's a vital point. And unfortunately, yes. If we connect this to the bigger picture, we're seeing a really disturbing, honestly heartbreaking trend, especially hitting older adults. Well, officials, for example, on Long Island, they've been issuing some stark warnings lately about a new kind of high-tech fraud, AI voice cloning scams.
AI voice cloning.
Yeah. And this sophisticated tactic is often used to make an already awful scam, the grandparent scam, even more convincing. It adds this terrifyingly realistic twist.
Okay, explain the grandparent scam first for anyone who doesn't know.
Right. The classic grandparent scam is when a scammer calls an older person pretending to be their grandchild, usually claiming they're in trouble, accident, arrest, and need money wired immediately, often telling them not to tell their parents.
And now they're using AI to make the voice sound real.
Exactly. That's the terrifying upgrade. It makes it so much harder to detect. The technology adds this layer of believability that's incredibly difficult for anyone, let alone a worried grandparent, to see through. It bypasses rational thought by hitting you right in the emotions.
So how do they even get the voice?
It's ruthless. They scour social media. Think TikTok, Facebook, anywhere people post videos of themselves talking. If a grandchild has a public profile, post videos.
Their voice is out there.
Their voice is out there. They only need a few seconds sometimes. They grab those voice samples, feed them into advanced voice cloning software, and this software is getting shockingly good and more accessible.
Scary.
And they can replicate that voice almost perfectly. Then they combine that with spoofed phone numbers.
Spoofing. That's where they fake the caller ID, right?
Precisely. They manipulate the caller ID so it looks like the call is coming from your grandchild's actual phone, but it's not. Then they make the call panicked, urgent, using that cloned voice.
A voice that sounds exactly like someone you love.
Exactly. And the calls are just meticulously designed to manipulate emotions, play on that love, that protective instinct.
So the fake grandchild claims they're arrested or in an accident.
Right, or some other dire trouble. They're desperate for bail money or medical funds, and they always stress the urgency and the need for secrecy.
And police are seeing this happen.
Oh, yes. Police Commissioner Kevin Catalina on Long Island confirmed they're seeing a growing number of these cases. He specifically noted that the software can perfectly emulate someone's voice. And it fools people. It fools vulnerable seniors who genuinely believe they're talking to their grandchild in crisis.
The emotional manipulation must be intense. Hard to think straight.
Immense. Our brains are just wired to react instantly when we think a loved one is in distress. Rational thought goes out the window.
So what does this mean for people listening? What are the actual consequences here?
Devastating. Truly devastating. Victims have been tricked into sending thousands, sometimes even, believe it or not, millions of dollars.
Millions? How?
Often through things like cash stuffed in boxes sent via courier or wire transfers. The scammers guide them through it. The numbers from Long Island alone, just for 2023, over 3,000 scams reported, over $126 million stolen.
Wow. $126 million.
And the vast majority of victims were older adults. Nearly $74 million in Nassau County, almost $54 million in Suffolk. All from people, mostly seniors, who thought they were helping someone they loved.
It's not just the money, is it? It's the emotional toll.
Oh, absolutely. The financial loss is huge, but the feeling of betrayal, the distress, the loss of trust, it's profound. It's truly heartbreaking.
And you mentioned AI is getting better.
Yeah, and it's progressing incredibly fast. So these scams, unfortunately, are only going to get more sophisticated, harder to spot.
Are police taking this seriously?
Very seriously. Law enforcement agencies see these as high-priority crimes because of the massive impact they have. They're emphasizing, really stressing, the need for extreme caution. Anytime you get an emotional plea involving money.
Especially if they demand secrecy.
Especially then. That demand for secrecy is a huge red flag. They do that to stop you from checking the story with anyone else. It's a classic tactic across many types of fraud.
Okay, this is a really stark picture. Those numbers are just awful. But we need to empower people, not just scare them. What can listeners actually do right now to protect themselves? Give us the practical strategies.
Yes, absolutely. That's the crucial part. The good news is, while these scams are out there and getting smarter, there are definite practical steps you can take. Being informed is step one. Now let's talk about action.
Okay, what's first?
First, the simple one regarding unknown numbers. Don't pick up.
Just let it ring.
Let me go to voicemail.
Yeah.
If you don't recognize the number, just let it go. If it's legitimate, a doctor, a bank, a friend with a new number, they will leave a message.
And you can call back if needed.
Exactly. You can call them back on a number you know is correct. This simple habit just cuts off so many potential scam calls before they even start. Think of it like a gatekeeper.
Okay, good advice. But what if you do answer? Maybe by mistake, or you thought you knew the number, and it feels fishy right away.
Right, that happens. This is where you need to be vigilant. Instead of answering their first question, especially if it sounds like a "can you hear me" type question,
Don't say yes.
don't say yes. Don't give any direct affirmative answer. Instead, answer their question with the question of your own.
Like,
Ask, "Who am I speaking to?"
Yeah.
Or, "What is the purpose of your call?" Just redirect it.
turn the table.
Exactly. It often scares them off. Scammers want an easy target, someone who just goes along. When you challenge them, put them on the spot, they often just hang up. They don't want to explain themselves.
Okay, that makes sense. What about the more advanced stuff? The AI, voice cloning, the grandparent scam?
For those, we strongly recommend setting up a safe word with your immediate family.
A safe word. Tell me more.
It's a secret word or maybe a short phrase that only your closest family members know. You decide on it together. And the rule is, in any emergency situation where someone calls asking for money,
The caller has to give the safe word.
they must provide the safe word. If they can't, or they hesitate, or they try to talk their way around it, it's a scam. Full stop.
That's brilliant because AI can clone a voice, but it can't know your family's secret word.
Precisely. It's a low-tech solution to a high-tech problem, but you have to establish it before an emergency and make sure everyone understands how critical it is.
Great tip. What else?
Okay, maybe the most important step if you get one of those urgent emotional calls, the grandchild in distress type call.
Yeah.
Always, always, always hang up and reach out to that person directly.
Using a number you already have for them.
Yes, call their known phone number, the one stored in your phone, not the number they called you from. Or call another family member, their parent, a sibling, to confirm the story. Do this before you even think about sending money or giving out information.
So hang up, verify independently.
Verify independently. That pause, that moment you take to check, even if the call felt incredibly urgent, can save you from potentially catastrophic loss and heartache. It makes all the difference.
That verification step seems absolutely key.
It is. And one final point, thinking more proactively. To try and stop scammers getting your info in the first place,
How?
consider using a data removal service. Our personal information, phone numbers, addresses, even who we're related to, it's often out there on the internet, on data broker websites.
Those sites that collect and sell info.
Exactly. Now, no service can promise to wipe you completely off the internet instantly. It's kind of an ongoing process. But these services work continuously to find your data on hundreds of these sites and request its removal over time.
So it makes it harder for scammers to find you and your details.
Yes, it reduces your digital footprint, makes you a less easy target for these kinds of personalized social engineering scams.
And if someone does fall victim, despite all precautions,
It's so important to remember. You are not alone, and it is not your fault. These criminals are incredibly sophisticated and manipulative. Report the scam. Report it to the Federal Trade Commission FTC.gov complaint and also to your local police department.
why is reporting important?
Every report helps. It helps law enforcement track these criminal networks, understand the scale of the problem, and potentially stop them from victimizing others.
Okay, so let's quickly recap the key takeaways.
Be super wary of unknown numbers. Let them go to voicemail.
Never just say yes to an unfamiliar caller, especially to those initial questions. Ask them questions instead.
Definitely set up that family safe word for any emergency call involving money. Practice it.
And always, always hang up and verify any urgent emotional request for money directly with the person or another family member using a known contact method. Don't use the number they called from.
And maybe look into data removal services to make yourself less visible online.
These steps sound simple, but they really are powerful defenses, aren't they?
They absolutely are, especially against threats that are getting smarter all the time.
We've really seen today how just one word or a voice that sounds so familiar but isn't real can be turned against you.
Yeah, and this information, it's not just for you listening. It's for everyone you care about, particularly older adults who we know are targeted so often by these cruel schemes. What really stands out to you from all this?
For me, it's that constant evolution. As technology races ahead, the scams just get more sophisticated, blending right into our digital lives. It really makes you think. In this world where we're so connected, where our voices, our pictures, our details are all floating around online, how do we strike that balance? How do we stay connected, enjoy the convenience, but also maintain that absolute vigilance we need against people trying to exploit that very openness?
That's a tough balance to strike.
It's definitely something worth mulling over.